Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors card review video. In this video, I'll be taking a look at the new Black Gold card, Hello Warfare Nesoi. She is going to be a Light God leader, and her leader skill is going to be the following. God and Elf attack times 7, HP and recovery times 1.5. Additionally, for Light Gods and Light Elves, your attack gets boosted by 3 times additionally, and HP and recovery by 1.3 additionally. Third effect is to extend runestone movement time regardlessly by 3 seconds, and by dissolving 4 or more groups of runestones, light attack, god attack, and elf attack gets multiplied by 2 additionally. So in my opinion, this leader skill is going to be pretty good. Has a lot of multipliers, times 7, times 3, and times 2, which overall is going to give it a good damage output potential. However, the way to build this team will be mostly focused on light gods and light elves because of the times 3 additional attack bonus that you get from her. But yeah, overall, I do think it's a pretty solid leader skill with high multipliers, but let's take a look at the team skills to see how they complement the leader skill. So for the team skills we have, Burning will be converted to HP recovery, skill CD of Nesoi will get reduced by 6 when entering the stage, damage received from an enemy with Runestone number shield for the first batch gets reduced by 50%. Water, fire, light, and dark runes possess the effect of heart runes. Possess the effect of each other, and light and dark runes possess 50% the effect of heart runes. Additionally, the more additional effects that you have in play, you get different effects. For 1 or more, you get 1.5 team attack. For 2, you get a plus 5 combo count. For 3, you get God and Elves will deal damage regardless of fixed combo shield. And for 4 or more, you get a damage dealt regardless of trio and quintet elemental shield for Gods and Elves. If you get the max of 5 or more additional effects in play, you get an EX combo count of plus 8. So the team skill is actually not bad. Uh, Ignoring burning is always really good. You can always just spin without having to worry about the burning skills. The second effect, it is pretty nice because Nesoi's active skill is a really good booster for herself, which we will cover in a bit, but having a minus 6 after entering the stage means that your active skill will be ready upon entry, which means you can activate it and deal a lot of damage from the get-go. For the third one, this is going to be a pretty new addition to the game. We have never had any cards that can ignore or reduce the damage from Math Shield. Math Shield, or the Runestone Number Shield, as they call it, is one of the more annoying skills in the game because it actually requires you to count and spin properly in order to deal damage. And usually these enemies also have really high attacks, so being able to reduce that attack by 50% will allow you to survive a couple more rounds and take more rounds to fulfill that number shield without dying. So I think the third effect is going to be a really good passive and definitely something that will be useful for her kit. Additionally, number 4, you have Water, Fire, Light, and Dark possess the attribute effect of each other, which is great. You have 4 types of attacking runes, which is always good. More options on your board. If you have Runestone Drought or if you cannot dissolve certain attributes, you can still launch attacks. For light and dark runes possessing the effect of heart runes, this is going to be a pretty staple effect as well, especially for a black gold card, because you do want to be able to recover even if you don't have to dissolve heart runes. This way, by dissolving light and dark, you can still recover HP, and because she is running elf members, you will be able to benefit from their high recoveries as well. So being able to have light and dark runes possess the effect of hard runes will allow you to survive longer and recover your HP to max without an issue. The sixth effect is going to be the main core playstyle for her. You will be relying a lot on active skills and additional effects in order to be able to trigger these 5 effects. If you are able to consistently trigger these 5 effects, you are going to have a pretty good damage output and a lot of shield ignoring properties that will help you against many enemies. However, having 5 or more additional effects is going to be a little bit challenging, especially if you don't have that many permanent boosters or permanent additional effects on your team. But yeah, overall, I do think her team skill and leader skill are pretty good. They're not broken, in my opinion, but they are pretty good as a leader for the current meta. However, she is going to only run gods and elf cards, so that is going to limit your inventory pool to mostly gods and elves, especially light gods and light elves, because those are the teams that will be able, or the cards that will get the most attack boost out of um, the entire card pool. However, you are able to slot any gods and any elves for utility, and you can also borrow from other races as well, because her leader skill does not limit you to only have gods and elves. So in case you ever need some other utility that is a human or a demon, for example, you are still able to slot them in. Just know that you'll be sacrificing a lot of damage when you do that. But yeah, so you want to build her with light gods and light elves, or just gods and elves in general. So my opinion of her as a leader, she is good. However, she is not broken. For a black gold card, I do think she might be a little bit on the weaker side, and I will even go as far as to say that she is not a must pull, because she falls in this really unfortunate location where her attribute or her race and team building don't provide anything unique to the game at this point. If you want to run mono gods, you can run Tsuyo, which is like a pretty busted black gold card. And yes, I am holding her to the Tsuyo standards. And compared to Tsuyo, she's like a really, really underwhelming black gold card. But that just means that Tsuyo is really good. But like I said, since Nesoi is going to be a god leader, she is competing directly with Tsuyo, and Tsuyo has access to the entire game as members, while Nesoi is going to be limited to elves and god members. So as a god leader, if you want to go for mono gods or god teams, you can run Tsuyo if you have him, or you can run other teams as well. For elf teams, we just got a new 1% jackpot card, Nocturne, which is also a really good leader as well. So this is also conflicting directly with Nesoi, because this also gives you the elf playstyle that you need. And you might be thinking she might be good for monolight teams or monolight achievements, but we also have Javanor, which has a higher option because she has access to all the light cards in the game, while Nesoi only has pretty much, you want to run it with only light gods and light elves, which also going to limit your card pool a little bit. So to summarize, Nesoi's race, God, conflicts with Tsuyo. Her team building, also like Tsuyo and Nocturne, because they just got released, and also Javanor. So basically, she is conflicting with two out of the newer leaders or 1% jackpot cards. She's competing directly with those two. And black gold cards, you will need 200 diamonds to pull both of them, while the 1% jackpot cards, you only need 100. So, in my opinion, if you already have the 1% jackpot cards, you might not want to spend 200 more diamonds for Nesoi, because you already have the tools that Nesoi could provide for you in terms of achievements and team builds. But however, I do think she is nice as a leader and has really good leader and team skills. But I think, in my honest opinion, I don't think she is a must-pull black gold card, because, like I said before, we already have two 1% jackpot cards that can do what she does, basically, or give you that utility. Plus, there might be collaborations coming in the future, or more, yeah, like pretty busted collaborations in the future, and you might want to save those 200 diamonds for these new collaborations instead of spending them on a black gold card. In terms of viability in the future with power creep and all, I do think that Nesoi is going to be a little bit unfortunate, and she might fall out of the meta sooner rather than later, and her active skill might not suit her to be a member card. So now that I mentioned the active skill, let's take a look at it. It's going to be a CD6 skill, which will allow you to transfer the drop rate of heart runes into light runes. All light runes to be dropped will be enchanted light runes, and upon skill activation and at the end of each round, earth runes will be transformed into dark runes. Additionally, by dissolving all runestones in the first batch, skill CDs of light gods and light elves gets reduced by 1, and this skill stays in play until deactivation or defeat. Upon deactivating the skill, for 2 rounds, elf and or light gods and light elves will enter a hyperstate. Hyperstate means they will have a ×2 attack boost. So in my opinion, as a member skill, transferring drop rate of heart to light is actually pretty good. Typically those cards have CD8, so having a CD6 transferring active skill is going to be pretty useful. However, there haven't been that many stages that require you to get rid of heart runes. But it is going to be a really nice skill. However, this skill is very much tailored to Nesoi's leader skill, and it works really well with her leader skill. If you remember correctly, the only runes that have the effect of each other are going to be water, fire, light, and dark. So this is going to get rid of hearts and earth runes from the board, which means that everything left on the board is going to be attacking runes. Furthermore, because you only have 4 types of rune on the board, it will be really easy to dissolve all runes in the first batch, so you can trigger the skill CD -1 for light gods and light elves, which is actually pretty good active skill, being able to reduce your cooldown by 1 consistently as long as you clear the entire board is going to allow you to fire off your active skills faster and get more kills that way. The good thing about the second part of the skill, the deactivation skill, the hyperstate actually counts as an additional effect, 1 per member. So whenever you turn off the skill, it means that you will have 6 additional effects, which means you will be able to trigger the +8 EX combo count from the team skill. However, that being said, this only lasts for 2 rounds. Nesoi's active skill is just 1 additional effect, so you do need to find other team members that will give you additional effects in order to trigger her team skill up here. So yeah, basically her playstyle will be bring light gods and light elves, bring many additional effects or perma boosters, for example, Yanxi or Apollo or Anubis, etc., etc. Those will give you additional effects on the board and trigger more of her team skills. However, these are a little bit hard to build for, but you might as well, at minimum, you want to have 2 active skills or 2 additional effects. So one will be your Nesoi, because Nesoi will pretty much always be active unless the enemy has a CD reset at the beginning of the round. And the second one can be Apollo or anything, because the combo count or these first 2 effects are absolutely necessary for your team in order to launch more damage and be more consistent with your damage. So having a combo count +5 will allow you to kill enemies with high combo shields, which are more common in the game nowadays. But yeah, her active skill is pretty good for her leader skill, but as a member skill, the only good part will be removing the drop rate of heart runes and transforming earth runes, which for other teams might not be as useful because this is very specific to Nesoi's leader and team skills. So for other light teams or god teams, getting rid of heart and earth runes might not be as beneficial. And dissolving all runes in the first batch might be also hard for other teams to do as well. And you might not be running light gods and light elves completely in those new teams. So as a member team, she is going to be really restricted in where you put her as a member, but her active skill is great for a Nesoi leader and ally team. But yeah, so overall, what do I think about this card? I think this card is powerful, but a little bit lackluster for a black gold card, in my opinion. She is good, she has good damage output, but that's pretty much all she has. There are many counters to her. For example, if you need to dissolve Earth runes, you might not be able to get them because you are converting them with your active skill. So for example, I don't know, Quartet Elemental Shield with Earth runes might be a tall order for her. Additionally, board debuffs like Tornadoes, Electrify, Frozen, Sticky, they are also all going to counter her as well because she only ignores Burning runes. Most Black Gold cards can ignore one or more of these board debuffs, but Nesoi unfortunately can only ignore Burning runes, so that also puts her a little bit lower on the ranks in terms of Black Gold cards. So yeah, overall, as a Black Gold card, I do think she's a little bit lackluster, and definitely if you don't have the diamonds or if you want to save your diamonds, you can consider skipping this card. However, if you're a collector and you have extra diamonds to spend, go ahead and get this card. She might be a fun leader to play as. But yeah, if you are free to play, don't have that many diamonds, I would say save them for the next collaboration or for the next big event, because typically collaboration have more powerful cards and those cards can become really good member cards as well. So collaboration cards are definitely a good way to spend your diamonds and to save your diamonds by skipping this banner if you want. But yeah, that's going to be all I had for this video and all the thoughts I had about this card. She is good, but in my opinion, just a tad little bit underwhelming for a new Black Gold card. But yeah, if I said anything wrong or if I missed out on anything, please let me know in the comments and I will make sure I take a look at those. But as always, just stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. I post there regularly, videos and reviews as well. So just keep track there and take a look at other videos. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!